Thank you very much. That's Paul Schaefer. You know, ladies and gentlemen, since the beginning of time, man has been constructing and erecting monuments to powers greater than himself. Many of these structures have certainly withstood the test of time. Let's take a look at now a few of the more famous of those. Of course, the pyramids, and this would be Stonehenge, somewhere in New Jersey. This next one is the Parthenon, of course. And last but not least, the world's largest vase. Now, of all of these world-famous landmarks, perhaps the least is known about the world's largest vase. We here have plenty of free time, and as a result, done some research into the world's largest vase. And let me read you what we know about it so far. According to this photograph, a 6-year-old girl admires the world's largest vase. It was constructed in 1897 for an exhibit at the St. Louis Exposition. It has been valued at $10,000, now on exhibit at the Pottery Queen, 2 miles east of Zanesville, Ohio. And apparently visitors are welcome if you'd like to go see the world's largest vase. Well, we did some phoning. You have to understand, we here at Late Night have been, I don't want to say obsessed, but that's the word. We have been obsessed with finding out about the world's largest vase. And we have the name of a woman in Zanesville, Ohio, who perhaps can shed some more light into the world's largest vase for us. And we're going to call her right now and see if we can't piece this together. I've been so nervous about this all day. We don't even know if it's still in existence, ladies and gentlemen. We just know that we want more. What a stupid way to make a living. Well, stop doing that. Hello. We're calling Betty Ward in Zanesville, Ohio. And in just a few minutes, have I done something wrong with the phone? Let me try this. Okay. Okay, we got heavy traffic this morning on the Whitestone Bridge. Allow about... Yes.
Hello.
Hello, is Betty Ward there, please?
Yes, this is Betty Ward.
Betty, how are you? My name is David Letterman. I'm calling from New York City.
Well, hello.
What is your weather like there, Betty?
It's a beautiful day.
Beautiful day. Now, Betty, you know why we're calling. We have reason to believe that you can shed some light on the topic of the world's largest vase for us.
All right.
Now, do you have it there with you?
No.
No. Have you seen it yourself?
Oh, yes.
And how big would it be?
About 7 feet.
7 feet. And this child, this 6-year-old child, about how tall was that kid? Did you see the kid?
Yes, that was on a postcard.
Uh-huh.
Oh, goodness, I don't know. I really wouldn't know the height of the little girl.
Well, it was about an average-sized kid, maybe, or big?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, where did you see the vase, Betty?
This vase was a part of my parents' collection of pottery.
Uh-huh. And where did they keep it?
In the antique shop, White Pillar's antique shop.
Yeah, and now, as far as you know, is there a curse on this thing, or?
Well, as far as I know, there's no curse on this thing.
Uh-huh, and what would you do as a kid? Would you just kind of look at it, or?
Yes.
Uh-huh, and was it a pretty impressive sight?
Very impressive.
Yeah. And it says here on this postcard that it was about $10,000, is that?
Well, that was the value given at that time.
Uh-huh, and what would you guess it is now?
Oh, my. Well, I would imagine closer to $100,000, although I'm not an appraiser in that area.
$100,000 for the world's largest vase, and it was about 7 feet tall.
Right.
So that's really larger than it ought to be, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, Betty, you don't have it anymore, correct?
Right.
Now, who actually has the vase now?
Well, I'm not sure, but the man who bought the collection from my mother it lives in Ames, Iowa.
Uh-huh. Do you know the man's name?
Yes.
Okay. Could we have the guy's name?
Let's see, Dr. Harold Nichols.
Uh-huh. Ames, Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have a phone number for the doctor?
Yes, just a moment.
Okay. Getting the phone number.
5-1.
Oh, okay, turn down. Okay, what is it, Betty? Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, great. Betty, we're gonna call Dr. Nichols now and we'll see if we can't get him to bring the vase to New York.
I see.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
Have a nice night.
You want to talk to my mother? She's here.
Yeah, oh yeah, put Mom on.
She's visiting me right now.
Oh, she's visiting? Where's she visiting from?
California.
Oh, California. I'm from the Golden State, sort of.
I see.
Yeah, originally from Indiana, and then I moved to California.
Yes, and she likes California.
Oh yeah, I like it. I like it too.
Yes.
Okay, you want to put her on now?
All right, just a moment.
Okay, this will be Betty.
Louise Purviance.
Purviance?
Right, Louise Purviance.
Okay.
Just a moment.
Okay. Kind of an interesting.
Hello.
Hello, Louise.
Yes.
Hi, this is David Letterman. I was just talking to your daughter Betty there about the vase.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, okay. Louise, I would like to talk to you a little longer, but we have to call this man in Iowa.
Oh. All right.
Okay, you understand, we kind of want to wrap this up, so thank you very much. Have a nice stay in Iowa, and give my best to the folks in California.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Louise. Now, do we have time to do this? Okay. That was Betty Ward and her mother, Louise. Now we're calling Ames, Iowa. I hope I get this number correct. Ames, Iowa. We're working our way farther and farther west. It's exciting, isn't it? It's an epic journey. Dr. Harold Nichols, Ames, Iowa.
Hello?
Excuse me, could you say that one more time? Just say that again, please.
Hello?
Hi, my name's David Letterman. Is this Dr. Harold Nichols?
Yes.
Dr. Nichols, are you aware of the fact that you pronounce the word hello with an N in it?
No, I didn't.
Try it one more time.
Hello?
No, you changed it. Listen, I'm calling from New York City, Dr. Nichols. How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
And how's the weather there in Iowa?
It's delightful today.
Oh, that's good. Now, Dr. Nichols, what do you do for a living, by the way?
I'm head wrestling coach at Iowa State.
Whoa. Dr. Nichols, do you know a woman named Betty Ward in Zanesville, Ohio?
Yes, I do.
And Betty told us that you have purchased from her and her family the world's largest vase.
That's right.
All right, I'm gonna ask you to get a grip on yourself now. And where do you have the vase now, Dr. Nichols?
Well, right now it's in storage.
And how tall is it?
It's 7 foot.
And what did you pay for it?
Well, it came in a total museum collection, and I paid $300,000 for the museum.
Wow. So wrestling is pretty good business for you, isn't it?
If you have enough sidelines, yes.
Yeah. Now, do you, Doctor, do you call it a vase or a vase?
A vase.
A vase. And now, when you don't let the kids wrestle near it, do you?
No, sure don't. Don't even let them around it.
Yeah. Is this a pretty spectacular thing, the world's largest vase?
Oh, yes. It's a Weller. It's Aurelian, and it's beautiful.
Now, is it possible for you to get that thing shipped to us here? And we'd like to have it on display in our studio in New York. Is that at all possible, sir?
It's possible. I'd have to get some wrestlers to move it.
All right. Well, if we arrange to have wrestlers move this artifact, it would be okay with you then, huh?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great. I tell you what we'll do. I'm going to put you on hold here. We'll get some information from you, and we'll try to set up some sort of a exhibit here in the studio.
All right.
Okay. And say hello for me one more time.
Hello.
No, now you did it differently. You said hello.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Dr. Nichols, hang on, and we'll get the information from you. There's Dr. Nichols. We'll be right back with the mother of Frank the Animal Fletcher after you take a look at this. A couple of weeks ago, ladies and gentlemen, we were sent, someone sent this postcard to us in the mail, of which I have a copy right here. And what you have here is something called the world's largest vase. And the caption on the back of the postcard says, "A 6-year-old girl admires the world's largest vase. Made in Zanesville, Ohio in 1897. Well, we thought it would be interesting if we could find out just exactly where this vase was. It doesn't really give the dimensions of the vase. And we found out that it's presently owned by a gentleman who lives in Iowa, and he is here tonight. We phoned him a couple of weeks ago, and we have the world's largest vase in our studio, and it will be on display all week. If now that school is out, it'd be a good trip for you and the kids to just come in here to see it. Before we show you the vase, I'd like now to introduce from Ames, Iowa, one of the most respected collegiate wrestling coaches in the United States. Please welcome Dr. Harold Nichols, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, David.
Nice to see you, sir. Now, you have, this, of course, is not the world's largest vase.
That's a present for you.
Oh, thank you very much. This is, that's what the world's largest vase looks like, right?
Somewhat like that.
Yeah. Now, first of all, tell me about your coaching experience at Iowa State University. How many national collegiate championships have you won there?
6.
And how long have you been the head man there?
30 years.
And you also coached Dan Gable and many other Olympic stars?
Dan Gable, Ben Peterson, Chris Taylor.
Yeah. And your most recent NCAA championship was when?
1977.
77. And do you remember your win-loss record?
No, I've never kept track of that. It was over 450, I think.
Well, we have here, this is, of course, the latest record, 409 victories, 57 defeats, and 11 ties, and that's a 869 out of 1,000 percentage. That's unbelievable. Now, how is it you ended up with the world's largest vase? How did that happen?
Well, I started collecting pottery, and in the process tried to get a number of the different pieces in Roseville and Weller, different lines that come in different patterns. And to get some of those, I had to buy a pretty large collection.
Yeah. The vase itself that we're talking about, how big is that?
That's 7 feet.
7 feet tall.
Yeah.
And valuable, this thing?
They say $250,000.
$250,000.
Yeah.
Now, on the postcard here, we see a 6-year-old girl admiring it, according to the legend back here. Now, do you know whatever became of the 6-year-old girl?
I have no idea. That's back in the 40s.
Yeah. Now, what do you do with the vase?
Well, I just keep it in storage most of the time.
Uh-huh. And do you ever take it with you to wrestling meets?
No, I've got some wrestlers big enough to carry it, but then
yeah. All right.
they've
Well,
never taken it.
we sent it out all the way from Iowa,
Right.
and at a pretty good expense, and it's insured. And I understand now the guard back there is no joke, is he?
No.
I mean, the insurance company said you got to have the... All right. Let's go now and take a look at the world's largest vase, ladies and gentlemen. Let's... How do you do? Nice to see you. What is your name, sir?
Douglas Parham.
Douglas, I'm David Letterman, and this is Dr. Nichols. He owns the vase, and we'd just like to... You don't mind if we come on in there, do you? There you are. Thank you very much. How long do you have to be here?
Until about 12.
About 12 tonight?
Yes.
Oh, my. And then somebody else comes in to guard the vase?
Correct.
Woo. Well, here it is. I don't know what else I can tell you, except this would be the world's largest vase, and I can't tell you how proud we are to have it in our studio. And anything you want to say before we unveil it, Dr. Nichols?
No, you go ahead. Unwrap it.
Okay, now we have to be very careful we don't knock this thing over. And, oh, there we go. That's not so tough. There you are. There's the... Now this will be on display all week, as I said. So you know, I guess try and get some of the few remaining tickets and charter a bus and come on in here for this. This is double glazed, I understand.
Yes.
And it also appeared at the World's Fair, right?
That's a Louisiana purchase, the St. Louis World's Fair.
So this is back there in 1897, roughly.
Well, the vase was made in 1897 for the World's Fair in 1904.
I see. All right. Now, to sort of recreate the postcard that we showed you earlier, we do have a 6-year-old girl here. If you could just come right past the guard, sweetie. There you are. Hi. What is your name?
Jamie.
Jamie. What's your last name?
Mackinnon.
Jamie Mackinnon. All right. Do you need some help to stand up there? All right. Now, Jamie, if you go ahead and just do whatever you... yeah, that's it. That's it. Perfect. Great. That's amazing. Very nice job. Very nice. Thank you. Go ahead and stand there right there. Now, we're going to take a break, and then we'll come right back. We have some more things to tell you about the world's largest vase. Doctor, thank you very much for being here. Carrie Fisher is here tonight. Warren Eckstein is also here with his pet rodents, and our friend George Miller is here. This gentleman is Dr. Nichols from the Iowa State University, the head wrestling coach there, and also the man who owns the world's largest vase. What did you tell me about this a minute ago, Dr. Nichols?
That's an Aurelian vase, the same pattern as the big vase.
Much smaller, though, isn't it?
Considerably.
Now, when we announced that we were going to have you and your vase on, we got a phone call from someone who said that they had seen a vase which they believed was larger than this particular vase. They saw it in, I believe, Winnipeg, up in Canada. And so what we thought we would do is call the person up in Canada who owns that vase to see whether or not it's bigger or smaller or the same size as yours. And so with us tonight to determine whether this man's name is Douglas Stevens, with us to determine whether Mr. Stevens is telling the truth, we have an expert in voice stress analysis, Dr. Bernard Green. Dr. Green, are you ready over there?
Ready?
Okay, now, before we begin the questioning, once I get Mr. Stevens on the phone, we'll have to ask some questions for you to set your equipment by and so on and so forth. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, I'll ask the 3 questions and then we'll go into the interview. And we're calling Winnipeg, Dr. Stephen Douglas, Douglas Stevens. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. 1. Okay. All right, now let's see. We have to ask this man some. How long have you owned the vase?
This is 11 years.
11 years. Is your family proud of it?
Oh, yeah.
Calling.
Good evening, the old spaghetti factory. Can I help you?
Yes, I'm looking for Mr. Douglas Stevens. Is he there, please?
Speaking.
Oh, Doug, my name is David Letterman. How are you today, sir?
Not too badly. How are you?
And what part of Winnipeg are we in there? I mean, Canada. This is in Manitoba?
Right, smack dab in the center of Manitoba. No, actually smack dab the center of Canada.
Yeah. And how is the weather up there?
Quite nice today. It's not snowing. You know, it's about 60 degrees.
Okay. All right. Do you want me to ask these? Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Mr. Stevens, I need to ask you a couple of questions here. Well, that's the wrong. Okay. All right. Here they are. Do you now reside in Winnipeg, Canada?
Right.
Okay. Have you ever knowingly taken money that did not belong to you?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Have you ever aided, abetted, or given comfort to an enemy of the United States, or in your case, Canada?
No, sir.
Okay. Just a minute. We all set? Okay. So I'll just find out now who's got the better vase. All right, sir. First of all, I understand you own the world's largest vase.
Well, we hope it's the world's largest vase.
All right. And how high, how tall is this vase?
It is 7 foot 5 inches tall.
7'5". All right. How tall is yours?
I think it's 6'8 1/2".
6'8 1/2". Well. All right. Mr. Stevens, at the largest portion of the vase, the circumference, do you know that measurement?
The circumference?
Yes, sir.
No, I'm sorry, I don't. But I would venture to say it's probably around 4 inches around the outside at the widest, or pardon me, 4 feet around the outside at the widest portion.
Okay, 4 feet around, but that's just a guess, right?
Right.
Okay, what do you know what the circumference on yours is, Dr. Nichols?
I think it's 6'5".
6'5". Well, we're not even close there. Okay, that's good. Okay, and your vase is double glazed, is it?
It's double glazed. Right.
Mr. Stevens, do you know if your vase is, does that have 1 or 2 glazes on it?
It's 2 glazes. It has the antique underglaze with an overglaze on top.
And what do you have? Is that pretty much what you have there?
Well, this was made in 1897. When was his made?
Fukugawa.
Okay, when was yours made, Mr. Stevens?
In between 1840 and 1860.
Okay,
That was in the, ask him if he's ever been in the World's Fair.
has your vase... Mr. Stevens, has your vase ever been in a World's Fair?
Not that I know of.
Not that
It was in an antique museum before we purchased it.
Okay, okay. Hang on a second, just a minute. Is there anything else I need to ask Mr. Stevens? Okay. All right, Mr. Stevens, listen, thank you very much for your cooperation. I'll let you get back to work there.
All righty.
All right, nice talking with you.
Have a good day.
Okay, you too, sir. Okay, now... Okay, now, in your opinion, Mr. Green, was this man telling the truth about his vase?
In analyzing the charts, I believe Mr. Green was being truthful.
Was being truthful. Okay, well, this is interesting news, Dr. Nichols. His vase is apparently taller than yours. However, you got him beat on the circumference. It may be a little older. The double lacquer, which I guess was standard back in the 1800s. So I don't know what to say. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, yours is still the world's largest vase. And
Thank you.
And you can... Well, we're still going to have it here all weekend. You're more than welcome, and it's a pleasure to meet you, sir. Thank you very much for being here with your vase, and congratulations on your outstanding record as a wrestling coach.
Thank you.
We'll be right back, folks, with Terry Fisher. Paul, and welcome back to the program. Steve Allen is here tonight, Dabney Coleman is here tonight, and Gary Muledeer. Last night, ladies and gentlemen, we brought the world's largest vase to our studio. It will be here all week, and it's been guarded by... is the guard still over there? And have you been there 24 hours in a row, sir?
No, 8-hour shifts.
8-hour shifts? And when are you finished for today?
12 o'clock.
12 o'clock tonight?
Yeah.
And anything interesting happened last night?
Nah, nothing interesting.
Yeah, okay. But we have been getting a lot of inquiries about when will the vase be on display for the general public. That'll take place Thursday. There'll be a big showing tomorrow. There's a big corporate cocktail party, so you can't come tomorrow. The heads of Exxon and General Motors and Ford and Chrysler and so forth will be here. Tonight, we have a special showing for our very own Bob Rooney. So all night tonight, Bob Rooney will be able to take a look at the vase and... I don't think you can touch it, Bob. No. I don't think you can touch it. In fact, the guard shouldn't have let that happen. So that's the world's largest vase there. My first guest tonight... Thank you, Mr. Schaefer. Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen, and for everybody who shared one of their little stories about celebrities, we have either the facial blotters or the Late Night with David Letterman sponges, both valuable items in their own right. Now, before we bring Mr. Reiner out here, we're still getting a lot of inquiries from viewers about hours to come in and take a look at the vase. Once again, let me give you the times that it will be open to the general public. That will be on Thursday. The world's largest vase in our studio now will be on display on Thursday to the general public. Yesterday, it was open for the private viewing of our own Bob Rooney, the assistant audio man here. Today, it is being looked at by heads of foundations and corporations whose generosity have made this exhibit possible. And let me just make this announcement also. The wine and the hors d'oeuvres are for these people only. I'm awfully sorry about that, but Thursday, general viewing for the general public, so something to look forward to. My next guest was the first person on this program to sit on my head. Of course, it's been done a lot in private, but aside from that, we have, of course, all week on display in our studio the world's largest vase. Now, when we when it first arrived, there was some discussion about whether or not it was actually the world's largest vase. There's a man who owns a vase in Winnipeg, Canada, and we phoned him, and his vase, this one is 6 feet 8 inches and 3/4. The man in Winnipeg claims his vase is 7'5". So we felt a little bad about billing this as the world's largest vase when it was actually a little bit shorter than one in Canada. I mean, it's still the largest vase in America. So what we have done now, ladies and gentlemen, to put an end to the petty bickering on this particular topic that's been on front pages across this country, we are adding a 35.5-inch radio transmitting tower to the vase. It's being put in place now by our stagehands, and it, as I understand it, it will actually be transmitting. And all right, there it goes. Thank you very much, Tommy. Now, so now, ladies and gentlemen, the overall height of the vase is undisputedly the largest vase in the world at 9 feet 8 1/4 inches. There it is, the world's largest vase. Truly something to behold. We'll be right back with Sandra Bernhardt, folks.
All week long, tourists from every corner of the globe have stopped to visit the world's largest vase at 4 o'clock in order to watch the traditional changing of the guard. Shh, here comes the next shift now. Ah, there's the ceremonial passing of the coffee thermos and the daily news. Every waking moment, these brave men must live with the question that few of us ever ask ourselves: would I take a bullet for the world's largest vase?
Right here? Right here? All week long, as North American television viewers are well aware, we have had the honor of housing the world's largest... we've had the honor of... now we're in real trouble. Well...
Had the honor of what?
Well, we
had the honor of what? You had the honor of what?
I was just going to say, if we could be serious now, I'd like to talk about the problem of world hunger and...
My 60-year-old knees are killing me.
Well, you could...
I'd like to leave now, if I may.
Well, sure, you could...
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Oh, but it was... Thank you very much. Excuse me. Now, do I owe you anything for that? Carl Reiner, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. From time to time, I have a man drop by in a nicely pressed sport coat and sit on my head. It's one of the things that makes this country great, ladies and gentlemen. Why doesn't he do that to Ted Koppel? One night, just break in, shove his way into Nightline, and sit on Ted's head for once. Carl Reiner, he was here last night, and apparently, well, obviously, has nothing to do, so he's here again tonight. Now, do we have time for this, or All right. All week long, we've had the honor of having the world's largest vase, and you know, people just love it and have taken it to their hearts. And there is now a book being published by Daimler Press, and it's right here. This is Children's Letters to the World's Largest Vase, and this is on sale at all your popular bookstores. Let me just give you an example of the kind of letters that are being written to the vase. I think you'll enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, Carl will come back and sit on your head. Now, dear World's Largest Vase, this is from Billy Heiser, age 9. Do you know the big walking pitcher of Kool-Aid? He is sort of like a big vase, and I thought you might be friends. Please send me his address. That's from Billy Heiser, age 9. Dear World's Largest Vase, I loved when you hid in the closet and when you drank beer and got drunk and made the flower grow and phoned home. Big vase, I love you. That's from Melissa, age 8. Melissa's confused. Dear World's Largest Vase, my dad told me that if I ate all my food and exercised every day that I would one day be the world's largest vase. Please tell me that my dad is lying. This is from Bobby Goldman. Yes, Bobby, your father is playing a terrible trick on you. Now, this is cute. Look, this one came lettered in just crayon. Isn't that cute there? Now, it says, Dear World's Largest Vase, you are big, you are good, I made a picture of you. Love, Janet. Let's look at the the cute little picture Janet made. A bad piece of work there, Janet. All right. Do we have time for just one more? Dear World's Largest Vase, could you introduce me to the guard who works the 4 to midnight shift? That one, the one that looks like Scott Baio. What a hunk. Your friend Jack. Well, that's interesting. We'll pass this on to Ruth Westheimer. Just a few of the letters you can read here in the book. We'll be right back with Daniel Stern from Blue Thunder, folks. Thank you very much. We're out of time. I want to thank, first of all, Linda Tate, the president of the Chad Everett Fan Club, has been taken out back and beaten senseless. No. We had to reschedule her. She'll be on at another time. Thanks to Daniel Stern. Pleasure meeting Daniel. Nice to see Robert Klein again. Of course, our thanks to Paul Schaefer and the band and Mr. Bill Wendell and you, the studio audience. Ladies and gentlemen, it has come time now to have the world's largest vase say goodbye to all of us. So join us now, won't you?
People of Lakeland, my time among you is now drawing to an end. In the past week, I have observed much that impressed me. However, I have also witnessed much that disturbed me. From my perspective, your civilization resembles a wobbly end table on which the vase of brotherhood teeters precariously. To avoid a fall to the hard linoleum of doom, you must set aside your petty differences and join together in peace and harmony. Now I must return to my home, Ames, Iowa, and my owner, Dr. Nichols, the winningest coach in college wrestling, who has guided his Iowa State Matmen to a record of 409 wins, 57 losses, and 11 ties. Very soon, the future of your society will no longer be in my hands. The choice is now up to you. Farewell.
don't mean to suggest there aren't lawyers who wouldn't sue him.
No, but we
Lawyers
want
who
your
sue
opinion.
everybody.
I understand. I understand. Now, on another night, we had, one week we had what we thought was the world's largest vase. This man who was the wrestling coach in Iowa claimed he had the world's largest vase. Now, we heard from a Canadian who said that his vase was the world's largest vase. So we brought in a voice stress analyst to the studio, and with Harold Nichols, the man who claimed to own the world's largest vase, sitting right here, we called the Canadian. So again, look at the videotape, and Lee, if you will, tell us if you think we have a case. Who's got the better vase. All right, sir, first of all, I understand you own the world's largest vase.
Well, we hope it's the world's largest vase.
All right, and how tall is this vase?
It is 7 foot 5 inches tall.
7'5". All right. How tall is yours?
I think it's 6'8½".
6'8½". Well. All right. Okay. Now, clearly, his vase was not the world's largest vase. And also, is there anything we can sue over that haircut?
Well, the haircut for sure. Who was on the polygraph? The Canadian?
No. Yeah, his voice was. Yeah, that's right. The Canadian.
That wasn't a voice stress. That was a polygraph, and whoever it was lying. Okay.
Oh, really?
Well, he didn't believe he was telling the truth. The problem is, you used the word largest.
Yeah.
He said his was taller. The only way you can find out whose is larger is to fill them both with water and pour it into a container.
So again, we're dealing with
So I think he snuck away with clever lawyering.
Yeah.
However, I will refer this suit to William Kunstler. He'll handle that.
But give me one final opinion here. Let it go, or can we move on this?
I think operating on a contingent fee, which is a third of the outcome. Most lawyers
third?
A third. We take a third, sometimes a half.
Yeah.
And in this case, that would be the coffee without the sugar.
Yeah.
I don't think the economic feasibility is with us.
Okay. All right. Harold Nichols gets off the hook. All right. Don't worry. We got some big ones coming up. Lee, we have to do a commercial, but we got plenty more stuff here to sue.
Maybe something in the commercial we can sue.
Perhaps. You never. And we'll go through the audience and find somebody that rubs us the wrong way. And
well, there are people out there that are guilty of all kinds of things.
We're just showing up here tonight. I think you could get them on something. We have to go away. We'll be right back.